Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to tell you a little bit about MODA fabrics, or more specifically, MODA Blockheads Sew Along number 5. This is the 5th year they've done this, so let's chat. Some of you may already know about the Blockheads program. Every year MODA releases several blocks, anywhere from 25 to 40 blocks, and they are made or designed by all the different MODA designers, which is really cool because you at the end you get a sampler quilt of all these beautiful blocks from different designers. Now, there's no obligation to do all of them. You can pick and choose the ones that you like the best. They do range usually from beginner to intermediate, some advanced sometimes, but this year they're doing something a little bit different. This year they are doing 9 blocks, or actually 10 because there's a bonus block, up until November 8th, and it starts today. And then they're going to take a break, and we're going to start again in January, and I believe it runs through June. Don't quote me though. I will link all this information down below. There'll be a link to go over to MODA, and you can read all about it. There's also a Facebook group you can join if you're a person who is on Facebook, and you can see everybody else's blocks, the fabric choices everybody's making, things like that. And that's also where they'll post up the next week's blocks, but you can also sign up for MODA's newsletter and get the block directly in your inbox. Now, not that I know of, and I could be completely wrong, but I don't know of anybody who's doing a sew along with this, so I decided that I'm going to do a sew along, and there could be other people out there that I am just not aware of, but I decided that I was going to do these blocks, and I'm just going to sew them up right here on my channel. You can sew with me if you'd like. I'd love to have you sew with me. I've also got a Facebook group, so if you're sewing with me, I would love it if you'd post your pictures in my Facebook group. I'll put that down below as well. But these patterns are completely free. For this first set of patterns, we're going to get a block each week, and at the end in November, they're going to give us 3 setting options. You can either make a bunting, you can make, I believe it's a table runner, or you can make a lap size quilt, which is what I plan to do. And then they're going to give us the settings for all of those. Now, they don't have fabric requirements other than some general requirements. I can't remember exactly, but I think they said for the lap quilt, it's 11 to 12 fat quarters, and maybe it was 1 3/4. I would round up anyway, so like 2 yards of background fabric. But that's all over at MODA. Like I said, I will link that information down below if you would like to join in. This week, I'm going to go ahead and sew the block here for you now. Is the bonus block. Now this one they're calling, I think, the autograph block, because they have a blank space in the center of the block where you can embroider, you can write on there with a micron pen or however you like to mark your quilt, and put this block on the back of your quilt if you would like to kind of say, you could put like Blockheads, MODA Blockheads 5, and then your name, maybe your fabric collection, something like that. I don't love to write on the back of my quilts, so I'm going to make this without that centerpiece that's blank. But I will probably go back and put a label on this later, but I will put this block on the back. So I'm going to make it without a space to write something, but I'm still going to use the same fabric cuts and everything. It's just I'm going to use a print there instead of a background piece. So I'm really excited to get this made, and I can't wait to see what blocks come next. Now, they did say that almost all of these blocks are going to be, I think all of these blocks are going to be star themed, which you guys know if you've been here before. I love star blocks, so I can't wait to make these. All right, well, let's get started on this first bonus block. Okay, so here's the autograph star block, or the pieces parts. These are going to be the centerpieces. This is going to make the star legs, and these are the corner units. So I'm going to go a little bit out of order of the directions. The first thing I'm going to do is sew the center so I can get this done and out of the way. And like I said before, earlier in the video, if this is called the autograph block, so you can take this center piece, which they're showing as a background piece, and embroider something here or write something in about what this project is. Now, I do have labels that I have made from Sweetwater Label Company that I absolutely love, and I'm going to put one of those in the center of this eventually before I put it on the back of my quilt instead. I don't love to write on quilts. I know other people are fine with it. It's just not my thing. So that's why I decided to replace it with this piece here. And I decided, since this is a lap quilt and it's going to finish in November, that I'm going to do Christmas fabrics, because Then next, you can either keep all these blocks that end in November and join them to the blocks we're going to start making in January and make a really large quilt, or you can make this lap quilt. I decided that I was going to make 2 projects because we're going to have a lot more blocks the second half of this program. And so I thought I would do what they're doing and split it into 2 projects. So I decided to do the Christmas since it's going to be perfect in time just for Christmas. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to sew these together. I'm going to sew it on the long edge. And this is just going to create the center of our block. And I will link this pattern down below. And the patterns are going to come out every Wednesday from now, and today's September 6th through November 8th. I don't know if they're going to give us the setting on November 8th or if we're going to get that the following week, but sometime in November we'll get that. So you can put all the blocks into a quilt or whatever you decide to do with it. Like I said, I believe there's a table runner and a bunting as well. And a bunting, I know a few people were asking what a bunting was when I was talking about this the other day. It's kind of like a banner that you hang. So that might be cute for if you make something seasonal as well. And you don't have to do seasonal. You can pick whatever you like. If you're going to do the whole program from start to finish, they did suggest a large fat quarter bundle. So like one of the ones that has, you know, like 40 or so fat quarters in it. I'm going to split mine into 2 different things. I'm going to do Christmas this time, and then not sure what I'll do for the remainder, but something probably more spring or summer-ish. Because by the time we finish that part of it, it's going to be summertime, I think. I believe it ends in June, but I'm not positive. Gotta heat up my iron, didn't get really hot. But this is the center of our block. Just need to press it. And then the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make some half square triangles to make the star legs. So that's what these squares here are for. So get out your favorite marking tool, because you're gonna wanna draw a line on the back of those. That's better. My iron decided to shut itself off because I hadn't used it for a while. So there's my center. So quick and easy. And like I said, they show a background strip here, but if you want to do it that way, that's fine. I just chose to do it this way. And I will probably take one of my little labels and kind of stick it right in the center there of that piece. So, okay. The next thing I'm going to do is make the half square triangles. And you're going to have, you're going to make 16 half square triangles. I'm sorry, 8 half square triangles. I misspoke. We're using 4 squares, 4 background and 4 print. I can't find my pen. There it is. Okay. I thought I lost my pen there for a minute. My friction pen. Okay, I'm just gonna draw a line now, corner to corner. Put that away. Put that on top, right sides together. If you have a tone-on-tone, which is what this fabric is, the side that you're going to want right sides is the one that you can see in the light a little more distinctly than on the back. I know sometimes those are hard to tell the difference. Luckily this one's not too bad, but I love using tone-on-tones, but that can be tricky sometimes. Now I'm just going to sew this on either side of the drawn line 1/4 inch. I'm going to just cut these apart right on that line. And then I'm going to press these towards the dark, so towards the red. And then after we get them all pressed, we're going to trim them down to 3.5 inches square. I like to use my pressing pen here. This is by Acorn, because it makes my seams nice and flat. And I get asked this every time I do a tutorial. This is a concentrated starch alternative, and it just helps make your blocks nice and flat. So you'll probably see me use that in most of my videos. Okay, those are pressed. Now I'm going to go ahead and trim them down to 3.5 inches. Just going to put my 45-degree line on my ruler right on the seam line and find the 3.5 inches and trim it down. I need a new blade, it looks like. That will be my next project after we're done here, is putting a new blade in my rotary cutter. Okay, trim that. I'm going to go back and retrim this because my blade slipped a little bit when I did the other side. There we go. All right, so there's one. Let me get this one. And you're going to do this, you're going to sew 4 of these to get 8 half square triangles for this block. What a cute name. I've never heard of an autograph block before. That's a good way if you don't have quilt labels to label your quilt. All right, so once you have all 8 of these made, you're going to join them 2 at a time together to create sort of a flying geese. So let me turn it towards you guys. And these are going to become the star legs. So I'm going to join these together. And we're going to create something like that. So I'm going to sew this one together. And if I did it correctly, yes, there we go. All right, so you can see how flat that one is compared to this one. So this one needs a little pressing help. And I did make a couple of these ahead of time just to make sure that they came out right. And I did end up pressing this one open because it got pretty bulky there. So I just think it would be better for, it was a choice for me. You don't have to press open if you don't like to. I know some people don't like pressing open, and some people are okay with it, but it does get a little bit bulky there where the 2 points come together. I don't love to press open either, but sometimes I feel like it's necessary to make the block do what you want it to do. Okay, so I've got that made. Now I'm going to take 2 of these and I'm going to add these white squares that I had set aside. These are the 3.5 inch background squares to either side of 2 of these guys. So let's go ahead and do that. Again, I'm checking carefully for my background fabric. If you using a tone on tone like I am. Make sure I got it going the right direction. If not, that's what our seam rippers are for, right? Alright, now we got one side. I'm going to do the other, and then I'll press these guys. And I'm going to press these out because these naturally kind of want to go out, as you can see. And that's a good tip for you. If you're trying to decide which way to press something, sometimes your fabric will tell you. If you just lay it out and it's like flopping over that way already, go ahead and go with it, because it'll lay better if you kind of press it the way it already wants to go. Now sometimes we have to make it go the way we want it to go to make it work right, but all right. Grab my iron here, give this guy a press. As you can see, I didn't press these ones open, I'm just pressing them out. These aren't as bulky as those other ones because these don't have that little where the pieces come together in the center. Okay, so now I've got one of those and another one of those, and then I've got a center. Oh, that's cute. Right now it looks like a present. And then I've got two star legs. So I'm just going to join these star legs to the center and then pop these guys on, and we've got a block. And one hint I can give you when you're sewing something that's like a flying geese on, if you sew with that, the geese on top of the other piece, you can see where to sew so you don't cut off your point. So I flipped it open and my point is still there, which is awesome. So instead of sewing from this side, I'm going to sew from this side to make sure I don't cut off my point. And you can see where the like little points come together in the center. And they usually have a crisscross like this, and I just sew one thread under where they cross, and that will make sure you don't lose your point. Okay, so I pressed these guys out, so I'm going to press this one in. This guy, quick press, and then we'll attach the top and bottom row. And I affectionately call this magic juice. And if you are a magic juice user, it doesn't take a whole lot. You don't have to soak your fabric. And I mainly put it on the stitches, not on the fabric directly. I mean, you can get it on the fabric, it's not a problem. But I put it on the stitches, but it doesn't take a whole lot. So don't drench your fabric. You shouldn't be, I'm a best presser, and you shouldn't, it shouldn't be like best press if you spray your fabric and then iron it right away and you hear it sizzle. It shouldn't really sizzle. All you need is just a little bit just to help get those seams flat. Okay, so now we're just going to join the top and the bottom. Oh, that's going to be so cute. And make this star. Because I'm a huge star fan, so I'm excited. I was excited to hear that this year's blocks were based on stars. And again, I'm sewing with the star leg part on top, so I can make sure that I don't cut off my points there. Ta-da! Awesome. All right, one more seam and we're done. All right. So it's not pressed yet, but there is my block. So I'm going to go and give this a really nice press and then come back and show you. So this is the Autograph Star block, week 1. This is the bonus block. This is the one that's going to go on the back of your quilt. And in the pattern, there is a template that you can use to put Blockheads 5 and your name and all that kind of stuff. So check out the pattern if you're into that kind of thing. This was designed by Barb, of me and my sister design. So thank you, Barb, for designing this cute block. Each week is going to be a new MODA designer, and I'm really excited to see what they have in store for us, because MODA Fabrics is one of my favorite fabric companies, and I love most of their designers, so I'm really excited to see what they come up with. All right, well, that's all I have for this week as far as the sewing. The other thing I wanted to tell you guys about is this year they have merchandise or swag to go along with MODA Blockheads 5. So you can get a t-shirt, you can get a sweatshirt, I think it's a hoodie. They have a zipper pouch, a couple different water bottles. That might be it. They may have 1 or 2 other things that I'm forgetting about. But I got the water bottle. It's really cute. There's 2 size water bottles. There's a smaller one and a larger one. And I went ahead and got the larger one. It's got a really giant mouth on it. I think it can hold like 30 ounces, 32 ounces of water. And I think the smaller one was 16 ounces. And I got the bigger one because I figured I can fill the whole thing with ice and then fill it with a good amount of water to keep me drinking water throughout the day. And I ordered this and it came within a week. It was fast. So if you're interested, I'll have the link to the shop where the merchandise is being sold. It's just a little kind of fun thing if you're doing Blockheads number 5. And that's it. I will see you guys next week for block number 2. I can't wait to see what they have in store for us. I know it's going to be good because it's from MODA. It's from MODA designers and it's stars. So thanks again, MODA, for this free sew along, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.